home shop. Happy Sunday. It's October 22nd, and we're getting ready to spray some primer. Got all these pieces laid out, ready to go. I'm about to wipe it down with wax and grease remover, and then we're gonna load up the gun and get to spraying. So here we go. So punk ass. So these are those side vents from the Mustang that were a pain in the butt, but I ended up using some paint stripper, and this is what it looked like after paint stripper. And here's what they look like after hitting it with a little wire brush and a die grinder with a wire wheel. So much, much, much better. I just got to get home and get into these little nicks and crannies, but I have something for it. So check this out. Yep, there's what I used, and moving on. If you do not already own a Dremel, I strongly recommend that you get one. It's perfect for little things like this and just does wonders. After I get into it with the Dremel and the wire wheel on that, I am now going over it with the Scotch pad. So like I said, equivalent to 320, this should get it nice and ready for primer. Look at the difference. I mean, just look inside there. Huge difference. No Dremel on the right, Dremel after the Dremel on the left. So here's my gun set up, the filter, air regulator, and here we go, spraying. I noticed almost immediately that something was off. It was very splotchy. It wasn't laying down as nice as it normally does. The pressure was low. It's a smaller compressor, but I thought I had adjusted everything that I needed to adjust so that it would spray at around 20 to 22 psi, but it wasn't doing it. So I make the quick adjustment and then get back to spraying. So you'll hear it here in just a second. And here I've made my adjustments and you can even hear it. It just sounds better. I'm spraying at 22 or 23 psi now. So I've had success with, finding my distance. Everyone's gonna have their own way. 4 to 6 inches is typical, but it just depends on what you're spraying, how you're spraying it, and you're handling the gun. The gun doesn't shoot the primer. You hold the gun, you pull the trigger, you shoot the primer, right? Overall. So just take your time and work your way around. And the gun starts to get a little heavy with the filter and a air regulator on it, so just keep it going. And here I narrowed my fan pattern to just get some primer on the piece. There's not the luxury of having these things hung up. Maybe you don't have a paint rack. Maybe you just have a table. So you gotta just do what you gotta do. Not always gonna be the most comfortable, but gotta do what you gotta do. And if there's anything that you guys do that's special besides hanging up stuff on a rack or laying something down on a table, let me know. I got a lazy Susan for some parts that I can really use the benefit of spinning it and painting it at the same time. But let me know. I'm all about hearing what kind of tips and tricks you guys use. And, this is a community thing. So the more we know and share, the more we learn and grow. And on that note, looks like we're over 100 subscribers. Wow. Thank you guys for the support and for watching the videos. And I hope you guys like it. Feedback is always accepted. Thank you guys. Big shout out to everybody. Here's a good angle, laying down the second coat of primer here. 50% overlap. Take your time. Get primer down. I mean, just get it on there. Primer is like yoga pants. It doesn't lie. It's going to tell you where there's imperfections and where you need to go back and work it. And that's the whole point. Like, you got to know what you're working with. Primer is one of the most fun stages for me. I mean, I like the whole process, but primer is fun. All right, first coat's done. It is coming out a little grainy, that's no big deal. It's gonna wet sand out. The idea here is to get primer on the parts, fill in those little minor imperfections. I mean, anything else you come across, we could use glaze putty. These are gonna get wet sanded out. All of these are gonna get wet sanded out. So there it is. You can do this at home. You do not need a shop or a shop space or a paint booth. It's all doable. Is it harder? Yeah, it's harder, but you can totally do it. All right, let's get ready and mix up some more for this second coat.